Okay, so I'm going to go over the answers to page 502. Number one, we have what does Lamar refer to as the eternal frontier? That was a pretty simple one. If you go over to right at the beginning of the story, I have it highlighted over here. Outer space is a frontier without end, the eternal frontier, right at the beginning of your reading. So that should have been a pretty simple one to find. If I go over then to my answers, I have Lamar refers to outer space as the eternal frontier. Now, if I go back into that second part of the question, though, because there's a part B, in B it says compare and contrast, how might the eternal frontier be similar to and different from the western frontier that Lamar writes about in his novels, because Lamar was a western writer and he wrote about the western frontier and discovering the western frontier of the United States. So if we go back over then to my answer page, what I had, they're asking for similarities and differences, okay, compare and contrast. So what I put on here was a link, and that's actually not going to pop up for me. It was going to go to a graphic organizer for similarities and differences. Who knows similarities and differences? What graphic organizer are we going to use? Okay, and hopefully somebody said Venn diagram. That'd be our most basic one. And we can use different charts too, a similarity and differences chart. So we're going to take a minute here and we're going to put the chart up on the board and talk about similarities and differences there between the two. Okay, question 2 asks, what kinds of leaders does Lamar say we need now? Use examples from the essay to support your answer. Okay, so we go back, and I highlighted at the bottom of the first page, he starts to talk about the leaders that we need. What is needed now is leaders with perspective. We need leadership on 1,000 fronts, but they must be men and women who can take the long view and help to shape the outlines of our future. Okay, and so that's, basically that's where he's talking about the leaders that we need. So I come over here to my answers. Lamar says we need leaders who are interested in exploring the frontier of outer space and who want to shape the future of humankind. What we would need to add to that are some examples. What are some examples of those leaders? What examples did you guys have for those leaders? Okay, now the second part of that 2B, in which ways would those leaders support the cause of space travel? So based on the leaders that we've chosen, how can they support the cause of space travel? On to question 3. To what does Lamar compare the naysayers who are opposed to funding space exploration? What does he compare them to? That's right in our reading where he makes that comparison. We'll go over to it. Okay, and I've highlighted it there on 501, right towards the top. There will always be the naysayers, those who cling to our lovely green planet as a baby clings to its mother. But there will be others like those who have taken us this far along the path to a limitless future. Okay, so if I go to my answers there, you kind of notice what they compared the naysayer to. Scroll down here to number 3. He compares the naysayers to babies who cling to their mothers. Okay, so that's a pretty good, pretty visual comparison there. Okay, now number 4 and 5 we're just going to discuss in class, but I want to take a look at the beginning of 4. Because 4A asks, what message about space does the essay convey? And then which reasons best support Lamar's claim. But I want to look at that word convey one more time. What does that word convey mean? Okay, that is going to mean to show or tell. Okay, and I put human destiny there as a question mark because that should kind of lead us in the right direction. Okay, so from this point on, we'll just discuss in class.